Happy Wednesday, everybody. Andy from WagerTalk.com going over today's Road to Millions. Steve is not feeling very well, so I am flying solo today. We got a really good show for everybody. We are going, of course, to the betting lab, and we're going to talk about strategy coming off a big winning week. We've actually had 3 really good weeks in a row, but I want to talk a little bit about strategy when you're coming off of a big influx of units and maybe some stats that aren't necessarily replicable over long term. So we'll talk about that. We do have a 5% play that is up. We've got a great viewer question about how many units to risk in a day. We'll go over the streak of the day and a couple of other things. So, guys, if you like the content, please give us a like. Helps us out, really helps the algorithm out, and give us a subscribe so you get all of the Road to Millions. I will also say we are going to be doing our free play of the week tomorrow, where we will be introducing a brand new segment that I am stoked about. You guys are going to love it. So we'll unveil that tomorrow. Let's get into it and let's take a little trip to the betting lab. Okay, strategy coming off of a big winning week. So, first off, Corbin got on me that I didn't celebrate enough that we were up big and up 21 units on Monday. He was like, you just barely kind of glossed over that we brought in 21 units. So I apologize if I didn't get like super hyped up. So I will do a much better job on that. But all right, what happens after that? Okay, so actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Let's pull up our handy dandy spreadsheet here because I think this can help us. So, all right, so let's take a look here at what's been going on over the last few weeks here with our spreadsheet. Okay, so if you have your bankroll builder spreadsheet and you're following along, we can go back to July and you can see did not have a good week to start. Then we bring in some units, we lose again. Okay, now we start bang, bang, bang. 1 unit, 11 units, 28 units. So we've had a really big month of August. So unfortunately, we know that we're not going to hit at that percentage for the entire year. Can we do it in the short term? Yeah. But we also need to understand that to be the best in the world, if we hit 68% or 58% of our bets, we're going to be like known as the best in the world. So right now in August, we're hitting above that clip. So we know there's going to be regression at some point. So coming off of a big week, I think it's everyone's, or at least most people's, intuition or gut feeling to really push. Like, here we go. I would say we probably missed the opportunity to push. Last week was the opportunity to push, which we did. Because okay, we had these we had minus 13 unit week and a minus 10 unit week. Those are kind of rare for us. So we see that we were okay plus 1.5 units and then plus 11 units. You could kind of feel that we were hitting our stride on some of our plays. So last week when we got up, I just felt like we were seeing everything really good. And so we pushed, even though we were up 15, 18, then 20 units on the weekend before bankroll reset day. We had units to play with. We pushed and we got hot. This week, I am monitoring very carefully if we start to hit a losing streak. So what's happened Monday and Tuesday? Well, baseball has not gone great, mostly because of the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves we had on Monday, they lost outright. We had them on the run line last night, and despite the fact that they out hit the Mets, they won 3-2. Okay, so we lost on Monday, and then last night we go 1-2 in baseball, but we hit Dana White Contender Series. So we got juiced last night. So I know that we are in August hitting 63% in baseball. That's pretty high. So I'm monitoring baseball very close, and I'm waiting to see if we're going to hit regression. If we do, we're either going to lay off or we're going to lower to 1%. I know that we're not going to hit 62 to 66% for the rest of the season. That's what we've hit in August. But we also know that there are ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and I don't want to miss out on profit. So as of now, we're going to keep firing away on baseball the way that we have, which is trying to bring in 2% on each play. I was very happy with the way that Dana White Contender Series went last night, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But so far this week, I haven't seen big red flags that we're hitting a cold streak. So we did hit with the Dodgers got blown out last night. We were on them, but the Braves came through big time in the eighth inning. So we were very, very close to having a winning week or a winning night last night. So we were 1 run in the Braves game away. So I've not seen red flags that were due for a losing, a losing week. Here's the other thing is um I'm going to have a golf parlay piece, but I'm not. It's a tour championship. There's only 30 golfers in the field, so I'm kind of going to lay off of golf this week. We have a Formula One race. Formula One has been very good to us, so we are going to be firing away on some Formula One plays. We have a UFC card that's at a very strange time. It's Saturday morning. We have a PFL event that is tonight. We have some plays in there, so we are going to be firing away on some plays, but those plays are not necessarily what we've been betting on and winning on big time over the last month. So we've got some sports that we're bringing in this week that we haven't been hitting at an obscene rate. So I feel pretty confident about this week. There's no way we're going to bring in 28 units again. Last week was incredible. I would be extremely happy if we brought in our 3%. So we're down a few units. I'm going to be monitoring very, very closely what happens. And the other nice thing that happened is our soccer plays, Corbin's soccer plays, were great last weekend. And we've already got some reads for this weekend as well. So soccer went great last weekend. I expect to bring in some more units again this weekend. However, if the week is not going well in baseball, and baseball is the biggest sport that I'm really concerned about because we've been hitting at such a high percentage. We're number one on Wager Talk in winning percentage. That's the sport that I'm most concerned about and making sure we don't fall into a regression. So when we're coming off of a big winning week, I think most people, oh, this is easy. Let's get cocky. Let's push in. I like to pull back because I just don't think that we're going to have 2 weeks in a row of plus 28 units. So what I'm looking for is to avoid the biggest losing streaks. That's what we said. The biggest thing about the Road to Millions is not necessarily the big weeks, it's minimizing the losing week. So I certainly hope we don't have a losing week. I don't plan on having a losing week, but we've had 3 really nice weeks in a row. So it's really, really important to monitor the plays. And if we see that we're going to pull back on our winning percentage, it's time to take a few days off or at least lower the percentage on the play. So that is the betting strategy when you're coming off of a huge week like we did. We brought in 28 units last week. So we're really, really happy with that. That covers our profits for at least another week or so. So that's a betting strategy for coming off of a big week. And if you guys have any questions about that, please leave them below in the comment section. I have one other thing I'm going to ask you guys to comment on. I need your feedback on something that we've been doing on the show, whether it works or not. So I'll get to that. All right, MMA notes and Dana White Contender Series important recap. It's a strategy thing, and I'll tell you why last night's win meant a lot to me. Okay, MMA notes. PFL is tonight. Normally, PFL is on the weekend. PFL is tonight, and MMA is at 5 a.m. Eastern time on Saturdays. We got some different times on that. So you're up to speed on that. We have our MMA pack that is up. But you got to get it because the first play is tonight. If you want to put the PFL play in, you got to get it in tonight. So, all right, Dana White Contender Series, important recap. Okay, so here's my normal routine when there's a Dana White Contender Series. I do all my research on the fights. On Mondays, I record a video. I only put up a video unless I have a wager. I don't want to put up a video and not have anything definitive, to say. Like I don't want to put up a video and be like, "Well, come back tomorrow." So I got to be honest. Monday it was hard trying to pick plays for it because they didn't have the props out. They only had the money lines. And my debate was, all right, I've done all the research, but I just don't have a great play. The back of my head, I was like, you're not 100% on these. I needed to get a video up. That's what I do every week, but I waited because I was like, I don't feel 100% confident on these plays. I'm going to wait till Tuesday. And if nothing materializes, then I'm just not going to put anything up. We always say, best way to make money is to not lose it. Props come out. Bang. We have our play unveiled to us. Josephine Knutson to win by decision. So then I said, okay, I have a play. Now I can record the video. I have something definite to tell everyone. And we went ahead and did with that. The video was late. It was not on schedule. The play was late. It was not on schedule. But by being patient And listening to that little voice in the back of my head that was saying you're not 100% confident, don't force a play. By being patient and by being waiting and by waiting, we nailed the play of the week. We brought in 2 units. There was a couple underdogs that I would have lost on if I would have forced a play. So the lesson is be really patient. You don't have to force anything. I learned that lesson. It was a big, big moment. Why? Because I would have forced a play and lost probably 2%. Instead, I won 2%. That's like a 4.5 unit swing. And all I did was be patient and let the plays kind of come to us. So I was really proud of that and really, really happy about that. So lesson learned, if you're like looking at the college football slate this weekend or be looking at baseball tonight, it's not jumping out at you, you don't feel confident, just be patient. Remember, the best way to make money is to not lose it. You do not have to force the play. So that was really important. That was a great play that I'll remember for a while last night, just because of the patience. So, all right, MLB notes. A couple teams we got to talk about. The Royals. So the Royals over the last 14 games, they're 9-5, getting plus 1.5 runs. So if you've played them on the run line at plus 1.5, you're 9-5. You're doing good. Money line, they're 4-10. So these Royals games are really close. So if you've been taking the money line against them, you've won. If you've been taking the run line against them, you've lost. So the Royals, kind of weird. They burned us a couple times. We haven't bet against them in a few games. I'm glad we haven't, because we would have lost. Let's see. The other team, the Braves. This is mid-major Matt's favorite stat. The over 1.5 runs, first 3 innings. This is a prop on the domestic. So the Braves team total over 1.5 in the first 3 innings. It's hitting 15 straight games. And they did it again last night, and then they didn't put any more runs up on the board. They win 3-2, but their runs were early in the game. So shout out to mid-major Matt. He's been all over this one. It's been his favorite play, and it's hard to deny it. The Braves over 1.5 runs the first 3 inning, 15 straight games. Okay, the LA Rams defense. Has anyone been paying attention to what's happened with the Rams without Aaron Donald on the defensive line? I know it's preseason. They've given up 34 points in both of their preseason games. The reason I bring this up is they play Seattle in the first game of week 1. And you guys know, if you followed me last year, you know I love doing team totals for NFL teams in the first half. I like the first half team total, especially if we're getting under 2 touchdowns. So I'm getting the Seahawks at home in the opener, in a game where the Rams may have this depleted defensive line, and their team total right now sits at 26.5 for the game. That tells me it's going to be less than 2 touchdowns week 1. I'm wondering if this Rams defense is going to be really terrible to start the year. They got young guys. They seem to be undersized. I know JSN got hurt, has a wrist injury. I don't know if that derails their offense at all, but Geno Smith with a healthy Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, their running backs aren't hurt yet. I know their offensive line struggle, but I don't know. The Rams defense, we may be able to exploit that the first couple weeks. But they've been getting gashed. They've been giving up points left and right, 34 points in their first 2 games. So that was something else. And then Formula One is back. So if you have our auto racing pack, expect plays. If you're an all access client, you're going to expect plays. And then tennis. The U.S. Open starts next week. Corbin's going to come on either Friday or Sunday. But the U.S. Open tennis pack is up. It's only $29. You can get it now, and it gets you all of our plays for the U.S. Open. Plays will start coming out on Monday, so we'll talk more about that as we get into the weekend. But if you want to lock it in, it's $29 for the entire tournament. Number 1 last 365. Number 1 this year in tennis. So tennis is going to be a big part of our betting portfolio next week. So if you've not bet tennis with us, get ready. You're going to be happy. So that is going to do it for the betting lab. All right, what do we have next? Let's do plays that we have up. We put a 5% play up. Cross sport parlay. Most people are scared of parlays. You'll hear a lot of people tell you that parlays are for losers. I believe that's a Kelly in Vegas saying parlays are for losers. Not us. Plus 50 units in parlays in 2023 You know me, I love my cross sport parlays, and that's what we have up. Our very first 5% cross sport parlay. That's up at wagertalk.com. Um, it's just better if you use the promo code that I'm getting ready to give you. Instead of just buying that one play, our MLB plays of the day are up. We just talked about how we did not do good. We didn't do good. We were 1-2. We were one run away from a winning night. So we're still 25-15 in August, number one winning percentage. So and then the MMA pack we talked about UFC and PFL. PFL starts tonight. So if you're going to grab the MMA pack, go ahead and do that now. Honestly, just use the promo code, guys. Andy 30 gets 30 days for 159. That's going to get you the US Open. That's going to get you the 5%. Baseball, Formula One, UFC, and PFL. So skip all the plays. Just get the $159. Trust me, it's the best deal, especially with US Open and the 5% coming up. And NFL starts. So use this promo code this week. You're going to start getting our NFL plays as well. So excited for that. All right. I mentioned let's do a viewer question, actually. Let's do a viewer question. Then I'm going to ask you guys for your comments and your opinions on something. So, okay. The viewer question actually came from Twitter. Spencer, he is at handy_capper. Is there a percentage of the bankroll you are willing to lose day to day? I've seen on some articles 10% a day. I feel that is too high for variance. Thoughts? So we don't look at it as days. We do it by week. So we have our bankroll reset day on Mondays, and we set our unit for the week. So our current unit is about $14 for this week based on the bankroll builder spreadsheet. So this is a tough one, mostly because of the sports that we handicap. So last night, for example, we happened to have 3 baseball plays. That's a lot for us. And we had a Dana White Contender Series play. So we had about 8, call it 9 units with juice invested last night. Tonight is going to be about the same because we have a PFL play and we have 2 or 3 baseball plays that are up. Monday, we only had, I believe, 2% invested. So during the week is going to be a little bit light for us. On the weekend, though, we just have to accept that that's when some of our best sports take place. For example, on Saturday, we are going to have MMA plays. There will probably be multiple. So that's going to be at least 4% invested. We are going to have multiple soccer plays. That's going to be at least another 5 to 6% invested. Dan is crushing it in lacrosse. That may be another 2 to 4% invested. If we have baseball plays that we like, that is going to be another 2, 3, maybe even 4%, depending on how many games that we like. So on a day like Saturday, we're going to have way more than 10% invested. Now, I know, the question was, are you willing to lose? Now, here's the thing. Because we have, call it 20% invested on a Saturday, it's not in one sport. It's spread across different sports. I do not expect to get crushed in every single sport. We may have one sport that doesn't go well, but I would be very, very hard pressed to find a Saturday where we get smoked in lacrosse, baseball, UFC, and soccer. I can't even think of when that would happen. So I would say, is there a percentage of the bankroll you're willing to lose on one sport? I would not go above, I don't know, 8 to 10% probably in one sport. Um, it's a little bit different. Like if college football, let's say you have some morning games and you win both of them, and so now you're up, and so okay, I won my 4%. Maybe I'll roll the dice and do a little bit in the afternoon because I think I got a really good spot in the afternoon. I may invest a little bit that. So I would narrow it down to the sport. Like I don't this year. I don't want to have more than 10% invested in one sport. Like we're just not going to have 3-4% plays in baseball on a Tuesday because I can get smoked in one sport. I just don't believe I'm going to get smoked in 4 or 5 sports on a Saturday. So I want to limit my exposure per sport. And I know that's really difficult, especially with college football and NFL starting. And trust me, I know that like it's really easy to overexpose yourself in NFL. We're going to be trying to not do that. We're going to be focusing on our 5% plays and our first quarter unders, which were great last year. We're going to try and not have that much invested. So I don't know. I would say a sport. Me personally, I don't. I would start handshaking if I'm over 10% invested in one particular sport. But I like on Saturdays and potentially Sundays, we're just gonna have more units invested. Like once football season starts, like there's no way we're only gonna have 10% on Sunday. We're gonna have NFL. There's gonna be a Formula One race. There's still going to be baseball going on. So it's just a matter of which sport are you willing to invest in. But also, we do our units based on a week. Um, we've had some pretty bad weeks. I would say the worst week we want to have is like minus 20. I would say if we're down 20 units, it's just time to bail. No more plays and let's move on to next week. Those are very, very rare. And those would have to be if we had multiple like 5% plays that blew up in our face. So yeah, for a week, I would say 20% time to bail and move on. But particular sport one day, I would say 10%. So if you have any questions about that, please leave them in the comment section. So if you are new, thank you for joining us. This is the Road to Millions. This is where we're trying to turn a small amount, $1,000, into a big amount, $1 million. We do it through. Oh, let me pull it up here. It's to help you increase your bankroll exponentially over a period of several years using the plays that we ourselves use for our own bankrolls. Everything that we put out on Wager Talk, we bet ourselves. We use wagers in the markets the books are not 100% dialed in with. We look at our bankrolls like a stock portfolio. We look at our wagers like investing, but with better returns. Stock market, 4.1%. We're up 91%. We bet all of our own plays, and you should as well. If you have any questions about it, DM me on Twitter at Bump Sports, or just leave me a comment and I can reach out to you. So, all right, here was something that I wanted to ask you guys about. All right. Um, the bankroll builder spreadsheet, I'm assuming everybody enjoys. Is there anything you want me to change about this or adjust? There's one thing that I've thought about doing, and that's moving the start date and going back to 2023, January 1st, and showing the bankroll builder spreadsheet for this year. Do you want that, or are you fine with just this? Because we started this exactly when we started recording video. So let me know, if you want me to go back and do the spreadsheet over a year, or over 2023, or if you just want to leave it as is. And then the last one, thoughts on this chart where we're comparing the road to millions to the stock market. I'm going to keep it, but if you want me to make any adjustments to it, let me know if you like, dislike, or don't even care about it. So give me your feedback, guys, because we want to try and make you guys better at wagering. So that's the whole point of this. Try and increase your bank rolls, and let me know what you guys think about this. Leave it alone or make a few additions. None of your comments are going to hurt my feelings, I promise. I like to cry behind closed doors. All right, real quick, let's go over the rules real quick. Our number one goal, 3% per week. That's our goal. We do not chase losses, no drunk/sick betting, and we do not pull money out of the bankroll. Those are the four biggest rules for the Road to Millions. Let us do the streak of the day. Yonder Diaz, over 1.5 HRR. All right, it's minus 105. This guy has been on fire. He has hit this in 6 straight games. So you might be saying, well, wait a minute. Why? Why is it only minus 105? The books must know something I don't. And you would be right. So Yonder Diaz, one of the hottest hitters in this category. I believe there's only one guy that is at 7 games in a row, and it's way juiced to the over. So here's the thing. Diaz is facing Chris Sale, who's a lefty. He's only hitting 203 against lefties this year. He has 78 at-bats. He only has 15 hits. So Diaz has not been good against lefties. And Chris Sale, since his return, he's pitched 9 innings. He's only allowed 3 hits. It's crazy. He's allowed 5 runs, but he's only allowed 3 hits. So if we're looking at an HRR, Sale is not giving up very many hits, which is what Diaz is going to have to get. The walks do not count towards the HRR category. So if Diaz gets a walk and then the inning ends, you don't get credit for any of that. So he's hitting really terrible against lefties. Chris Sale's been good since his return at not allowing hits. So this is why this price is so crazy on Yaner Diaz. So this one almost made our card, but it did not end up making our final card because of his history against lefties and the matchup today. So, all right, guys, promo code Andy30 gets 30 days for $159. We're having a fantastic year. We're having a fantastic month. So, feeling great about tonight's PFL play, and we got a couple baseball plays up. So, hoping to make it 4 weeks in a row of profits here at WagerTalk.com. Getting excited for NFL season. And we may have some college football talk coming up Thursday and Friday, getting ready for week 0, which is still one of the dumbest things in sports. I don't understand how you can have a week 0. You just have a week that doesn't count. It's 0. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, use the promo code Andy30. Gets 30 days for $159. It'll get you the 5% plus MLB plus Formula One plus all the US Open plays. Best deal on the board. It's going to do it for today's Road to Millions. For more good gambling content, stay tuned for the next video on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. And don't forget, Wager Talk today, every day, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Good luck on all your bets, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Road to Millions.